Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, you're going to meet Lieutenant Larry Brock. He is a retired from the Air Force, and he's running for state rep here in Texas. We're going to hear his incredible journey just ahead.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
All right, from time to time we have people who are running for office in my studio, but I think my next guest has probably the most colorful story that I've ever told. Retired Lieutenant Colonel Larry Brock is in the studio. He's running for Texas State House District 106, which yes, you can describe in a minute. But when I say you have a colorful story, you have a colorful story.
Yes, sir, I do. So I'm a retired Air Force officer. For 29 years, I served our country. I flew the A-10 in both Iraq and Afghanistan. And then, I did various jobs, went back to flying. But where it gets really colorful is when I went to the Capitol on January the 6th. Now, I didn't do anything that would embarrass you, Jeff. I walked into the Capitol. I was peaceful. I actually protected police and had one of them testify in my trial that I did. And it's on video on the website. You can see me protecting police when I exited the Capitol. So for that, I was sentenced to 2 years in prison. I served the full 2-year sentence, even though I won an appeal of both the felony and an appeal saying I was over-sentenced. The judge just decided to keep me in there. So I was fortunate to get out, get pardoned by President Trump, and then 3 days after I was pardoned, I had all charges dropped. Now, a couple of other things about January 6th that are of consequence to me. The FAA pulled my pilot's licenses, and I did not get them back until President Trump was inaugurated, and then it took a couple of months in congressional involvement to get my licenses back, but I have them now. And then to get my license to be a state real estate inspector, I had to get political involvement on that as well. So I think it's typical of most January 6ers that we're just going to have to fight for the rest of our life to enjoy our normal rights as Americans.
And you probably would not be running were it not for January 6th.
Absolutely not. January 6th was obviously a significant emotional event in my life and what they did to me afterwards. I believe it's critical that we restore our republic. We have to have full faith and confidence in our elections, which I'm still right. They're still wrong. 2020 was stolen. And so it's important that that never happens again so that Americans are never put in the position of protesting like I was. And it's also really important that we have confidence in our judiciary. And I don't want to see another American or another Texan undergo what I did in terms of not really enjoying their constitutional rights. My First Amendment right to peacefully protest was taken from me. Obviously, my Second Amendment rights, as soon as they declared me a felon, were gone. All right, my Fourth Amendment rights, the FBI just searched and seized at will. They do that anyway, even with the president. The Sixth Amendment right to a jury of trial of my peers was taken from me. My Fifth Amendment rights to stay silent were denied when the judge says I'm going to keep him in jail because he's expressed no remorse, so I have a right to be silent. And then my Eighth Amendment rights were taken when I was thrown into isolation for 127 days for urging patriots to be loyal to President Trump. So, it's important as an American that we protect our Bill of Rights. As a Republican, and I intend to do that, and I'm hoping that I get elected to the state legislature.
Okay, we're going to pull up your website, and as we scroll down the website, you're out campaigning all the time, and I'm going to have you describe the district because it's a big district. It runs from the Colony all the way up to Pilot Point.
So it's basically the eastern side of Denton County and the northern side of Denton County combined. There's a lot of different I would say interest in it. Frisco is more of the business town part of it, but we have horse ranches up in Pilot Point, so it's a very broad district. It is a growing district. It is actually one of the fastest growing districts in the nation. I've been speaking with water people, power people to try and get smart on that, and right now we don't have enough water for all the growth that's planned. And so I will be working with the Senate as well as the governor and lieutenant governor if I'm elected to try and increase our supply of water.
And you're looking the voter in the eye every single day as you're out campaigning. And
Absolutely.
This morning you had another meeting. What are people saying about the January 6th thing?
I would say amongst Republican voters, it is not viewed negatively as long as you had protected police and didn't do anything, that was violent on that day. I'm not going to go so far as to say it was a badge of honor, but the fact that you did show up, that you did stand up for what most Republicans believe is a clearly stolen election resonates with them. And the fact that we endured so much injustice at the hands of the Biden regime definitely gives you a little bit of what I'm going to call street cred, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, and you're a fifth-generation Texan, and you have a wife and 4 kids, is that right?
3 kids, sir.
3 kids?
Yes, sir.
So I can't imagine being away from your family for a full year, but that's what it was.
Yes, 372 days in prison. It has left me in an estranged situation with my older 2 children. My daughter is a doctor down in New Orleans. My son is in Florida. And I don't what I did. I raised them to be independent thinkers, and they think dad's a crazy insurrectionist for a while. I'm hoping to repair those relationships, but it will take time.
Well, I want you to set up this video because we're about to run a video that you shot within an hour of being released. Is that right?
Yeah. So the video you're about to run, I put together a speech because I thought it was important that the American people hear what was going on. And my fellow J6ers and I hoped that 10,000 people would watch it. Eventually, over 2 million have seen it just on X. It's more on other feeds. Now, one of the things they tried to say is you're a criminal, you're an insurrectionist and a traitor. So it was critical to me that I once again put on the uniform of my country. So that's what I did. As soon as I got out of prison, I took off the clothes that they gave me to leave the prison with, put on my uniform, and spoke. And I tried to stay in line with traditional American values. I don't view this as a speech attacking a political party or the president. I view it as a speech saying Americans need to look at and guard their constitutional rights.
Let's go ahead and roll the video.
I thank God that I've had the opportunity to serve my country under such trying and difficult circumstances. For 372 days, I have been a political prisoner of this administration. Although I have many things to say about my time and treatment inside the Springfield Gulag, that will wait. The first thing I must do is give thanks to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, for my deliverance and liberation. To every American that prayed for me or wrote to me, thank you. Your support meant everything, especially in the dark days when they threw me in the hole, especially when they were trying to have me killed. I ask every American to reflect on the fact that just 4 short years ago, we all believed we enjoyed the full protection of the Bill of Rights, the right of free speech, the right to assemble, the right to a speedy trial, and the right to a trial by a jury of our peers. But now, as many in the minority community already knew, those rights just don't exist anymore. Instead, we have FBI censorship and propaganda, warrantless surveillance, and indefinite pretrial and post-conviction detention of American citizens. And worst of all, the fundamental tenet of American jurisprudence, equal justice under law, has been corrupted. And now we have a 2-tiered system of justice, complete with political show trials, ranging from the former president to a common man like me. In the face of this banality of evil, you're right to ask, what can one man or one woman do? Although you must continue to pray. To merely pray while Americans are being shipped to gulags as prisoners of conscience, well, that just mocks God and dishonors the sacrifice of our founding fathers and the shed blood of patriots who enshrined our rights in our sacred Constitution. So I'm asking you today, please, call your congressmen and senators and demand that they live up to the gospel they profess to believe. Demand that they not only proclaim liberty to the captives, but that they use the full power of the legislature, their voice, their vote, and most importantly, the budget to set at liberty those who are oppressed. And if they will not do this, vote them out, every last one of them. Never again should there be a political prisoner in the United States. Finally, in the words of a truly great man, a man who was also a prisoner of his government, free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, I'm free at last. God bless you, your families, and God bless the United States of America.
Larry, I'm not trying to get you to cry, but like every time you talk about this is near and dear to your heart.
It is. I'm obviously getting better about not crying, but, when you strike it, what is in the heart of a man? Patriotism, duty, love of country. And, they tried to take it and poison it, and I just won't let them. And so I am running. I am a patriot. I will do what is right for the citizens of Texas at great personal cost. I think I've proven that already. You want a man that'll go to Austin and not succumb to the swamp? You're looking at him. All right, I didn't succumb to Biden's DOJ, and I won't succumb to any pressure from a lobbyist.
Let's talk about your platform. What are some things you stand for?
Well, the number one issue that most Texans have is we're getting gouged with property taxes. And so right off the bat, I want to protect our senior citizens. I've heard too many times on the campaign trail, I'm about to lose my house or my property because of taxes. So it's only $9.9 billion of the $86.8 billion that we pay. We can eliminate that fairly easily. The state's budget was $338 billion. It just requires a little bit of spending discipline. I can right off the bat cut half of it out by just defunding the historically underutilized businesses provision that the Democrats wanted. That's $5 billion. But no Texan should be forced from their homes due to property taxes. We need to change that and make that stick right off the bat. The second thing is I want citizens to have a say in their government. Imagine that. So I don't want any taxes to be levied on a citizen without voter approval. And the governor actually has put that out as part of his platform as well. So that's the first thing. The second thing is we need to cut spending in Austin. It's gone up 43%. The average Texan salary in the same time frame has gone up 5%. Now, we are a growing state, but growth times inflation is only 27%. So we've spent 16% more, and when your budget's, $338 billion, we're looking at around $56 billion in additional spending above growth plus inflation. The third thing is I want secure elections. It shouldn't surprise you that a J6er would value secure elections. So same-day balloting, paper ballots, we need precinct counting. I am a fan of machine counting because believe it or not, it's more accurate than humans, but I definitely want to check it because I don't trust the machines anymore after January 6th, after 2020. Now, the fourth thing is more roads, power, and water. Texas Encore is already telling us that we will start experiencing brownouts in 2030 unless we double our available power. If we want to lead the nation with the Texas Miracle in terms of AI and data processing, we need to quadruple our power. I already told you that we don't have enough water for the planned development in my district right now, so we have got to do something on that. And our roads are lagging the fight as well. As a Republican, I believe that private enterprise is the solution, so I look forward to working with people and infrastructure to actually do that.
And you're running against an incumbent, so it's a little David and Goliath.
It is actually, but I kind of enjoy it. He's a 4-term incumbent. He's done nothing but increase spending and increase taxation when he's there. He is a giant campaign war chest. And so, anybody that is willing to go and press that little red donate button on my campaign website, you're voting to put a patriot in office that will put you first. So I am asking for help there. That being said, surprisingly, we are within 10 points, and we haven't even really begun to fight yet. So that's coming. November, December, January, and February, we will ramp up what we're doing, which is going out, block walking, meeting voters, and shaking hands. That's all I can do until I get more money, and then I will do a lot more.
And you're busy. I think there's, is it called Coffee with the Colonel?
It's Coffee with the Colonel. Yes, sir. That's every Tuesday morning, but, there is something usually morning and night for me, and then I also host a space on X where I talk international and national politics, and then occasionally Texas politics creeps in there as well. But I do that every day from 11 to noon. It's called The Reckoning on X, and it's an X space. So yes, I'm very busy tonight. After I leave here, I'm going to take about an hour off, and then I have a meeting with about 30 people in my district that want to sit and talk. So again, that's the only way I can win, is to outwork this man, and I intend to do just that.
And you were telling me before the show that typically in this race, 17,000 people vote. So
Yes,
it's
sir.
really like every vote counts.
Every vote counts, absolutely. And if you're thinking about voting for me, I'm asking for a favor. Take 3 people with you. If you do that, then you will definitely be able to secure a victory for yourself. Not for me. I'm just your vessel down in Austin that will represent your will.
Oh, awesome. We've got a minute left, so final thoughts. What do you want to leave people with?
The final thoughts I have is, even though, I've endured what I have, I still believe and have faith in the country. To me, America is not just a geographic location or a people, it's an idea. Langston Hughes, the poet, said, America is the land that never has been and yet must be. And so it was not America that let me down, it was bad people. And I trust in the good people of this nation and in your judgment. And you delivered me from the Biden Justice Department on the 4th of November in 2024. And I believe that you are going to deliver me and put me in office where I can serve you. And I promise I will do just that.
Outstanding. Thank you so much for sharing your heart with us. And we're going to leave with the website, which is LarryBrock4Texas.com. Retired Lieutenant Colonel Larry Brock. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you, sir. I'd appreciate your time.
That's it for now. We'll see you next time.